What's the state of the rectory right now?
Well, we have Father Tochi and Father Christian.
Yeah.
Monsignor Mensch has a suite on the ground floor by the garden, and I have a suite overlooking Three Chop Road. So there are four of us.
Yeah.
And we have, for example, Friday, Father Stefan is coming in overnight. I forget why he's coming, but he does a lot of business in Richmond. Probably just to visit with Father Christian and Father Tochi. So, but we have all seminarian guests. We've had William Buckley and Tom Lawrence this summer.
Yeah.
And of course, we had Dylan for the year. And I got an email from Dylan the other day. He's back in Rome and getting ready for classes. Seth is back at the seminary.
You have, I think, maybe a somewhat unique experience of living with a lot of young priests.
I do.
And or seminarians, or those who are in formation. Is it a different priesthood today for them than it was when you were their same age?
It is that the people in the parishes have not changed, but the method of doing the priesthood is changing. And it is different than when I came along. And that is good, because I think if you don't change and grow, you die. However, it's not the way I grew up. So I find myself listening in wonder and awe sometimes. They're funny, they have good stories, and they like to laugh.
Yeah.
They all have very good prayer lives, which I like to think maybe we did too.
Yeah.
And they're all devoted to the liturgy, and so we have all that in common. And but it really is different, and there's a difference between, I would say, maybe 20 years ago and even today, because the young men today, like Dylan and Seth and Tom Lawrence and William Buckley, are bringing a very contemporary vocabulary, a set of expectations, and a mindset to the conversation of how to be priest. And the nice thing for me is that they don't discount my experience, because it's easy for a young person, that old woman, that old man, that old codger, and they are attentive and respectful, and they've all come at one time or the other during their tenure to say, can I have an hour of your time? One-on-one, I have a list of questions.
Yeah.
And of course I love talking, so I tell them the stories. It's all
wonderful.
good. It's all good today and 20 years ago and when I came along too.
Best thing about living with a bunch of young, newly ordained and or seminarians, what's the best thing there?
It's energizing. It really is energizing to see they're moving. They do not sit still. They are engaged. It's been challenging online in COVID time, but they're engaged. They're out there. Seth came here and maybe like mid-July until mid-June to like mid-August. So it was 2 months, whatever it was. And that guy hit the ground running. What can I do? How can I do it? He had read the bulletin, found out what we were doing, realized it was COVID time and all that. And then he just went to work and did things.
Yeah.
And it was very nice to see. The work I got when I was a seminarian, I had to work during the summers, and I worked in a drugstore warehouse in Washington. Yeah, I'm a Teamster. I am. I had to be a Teamster because I worked on the loading dock, and I
How funny.
Yeah, I helped load the trucks to take the shipments from the warehouse to the drugstores. People's drugstore.
Are you still adept at packing a truck?
No, but I can pack a box like heck. No, it takes, I was 18, 20, 22 years old. It takes muscles and stamina and energy. Their work is really in their parishes during the summer. The focus has changed from when I was there. You better go out and work because you need some spending money to get through the year. And so they are maybe taken care of other ways, and then they work in the parish, and they get a little bit of a stipend for that. The greatest gift I think I ever had from a priest in my early days was when I was a deacon and preaching and terrified, just of stuttering that I've already mentioned, but just terrified. I mean, here I am, like 25 years old, preaching to a congregation of people twice my age, and it was rip-roaring, intimidating. And I don't even know, I got up and I preached at 2 masses for him, the pastor, on Sunday, and later that afternoon we had dinner, and he looks up to me and he says, Bill, you are really good. I think I stank. I think it was horrible. But he really wanted to encourage me. And he said, you are really good. And that one statement gave me the courage to get to the next week.
Yeah.
And it was like, clawing my way to 20 years into the priesthood. Every homily was nerve-wracking. But that priest gave me the inspiration and the confidence.